We've got all these articles out here. You see this one here. I'm fed up with the ceaseless carping of a handful of spoiled, self-indulgent, overgrown adolescents. This is a generation that was raised with the highest standard of living in the history of the world. We have a generation, or at least part of a generation, whose every need has been catered to since birth. Now, when they finally face adulthood, they expect the gift-giving to continue. But the whiners want everything now. A generation raised on the principle of instant satisfaction simply can't understand the concepts of long-term planning and deferred gratification. What's their reaction when they don't get what they want? That's right, they throw a tantrum. Most people live ordinary lives of quiet desperation, stuck in uninteresting jobs that they're afraid to lose. If you want more than that, move out of your parents' houses, start working, and for heaven's sakes, stop whining. This is from Newsweek, October 31st, 1993. This was written about the young generation at the time called Gen X. Do you see something here? Do you think I was reading an article about describing millennials? You see the problem? We simply do not like the younger generation simply because they're younger than us. That's it. We're older, and by birthright, meaning we're also bitter. Youth is wasted on the young. We expect people who are 22 years old to behave like they're 42. Did you behave that way? We spend the first 20 years of our lives trying to look and act older, and the last 60 years sold trying to look or act younger. How about you allow people to be what they're at? We're threatened. We're always, as a species, threatened by change, and the rate of change in the past decade has been more than the previous 100. So we're scared exponentially now. So a younger generation who has grown up with technology, who's grown up with change, who's grown up in disruption, is a much bigger threat than we were when we were younger. If we took the beautiful comfort that a younger generation has today with change and disruption and combined it with what us older people have, which is wisdom, which is simply time plus mistakes, which is what wisdom is. If we combine the two, we'd be unstoppable as companies. We'd be unstoppable as organizations, but we butt heads. We tell people to stay in their lane, go through the pecking order, know your role. But innovation is created through insubordination. That's how it happens. Change happens one of two ways, internally or externally. You either do it or you're forced to. And I just think we got some bright people in this industry. And if we're going to discredit them because of their age, it's called discrimination. It's called prejudice. And just because I resent young people, and oh boy, do I ever. Oh, do I ever. Being Gen X, that's part of my grunge feel. That's what I do. Where are my other extras at? Where are you at in this room? Are you here? Good. So when I see you in the hallway, flash the Gen X sign, okay? It's right here. The reason why we flash it at our hip is because millennials won't see it. They're on their phone. Boomers won't see it. They lack peripheral vision to capture it. It's us. It's our sign, right? That's how this world works. But that's the point. Understanding that if we identify this as prejudice, millennials is a word, it's a discriminatory word. My millennials in this room, how much do you enjoy being called a millennial? Thank you. If you didn't hear her, boomer, she said, I hate it. You like another shot at boomers? You're welcome. I'm going to get stabbed when I go outside, but that's okay. So, but you hate, right? As soon as you heard the term millennial, you want to, as much as I enjoy being called Gen X, we researched it. If you go back to the early 1800s, there's been things written about generations and how terrible the younger one is. Every single one, right? Yeah, but the way their pants coming down, it's hanging off there. Did you see our pants in the 80s? I don't know if you saw them. Did you see those things? Either the Junko giant jeans or hammer pants. That was our two choices. And boomers like, yeah, those are terrible too. Have you seen your pants? Hippie? Some of you weren't wearing any. Learn to work without that bias, and the bias starts with us. I've seen a whole industry now. I saw an article that said millennials don't like meetings. Nobody likes meetings. Millennials are just young and naive enough to think they don't have to attend them. I find it adorable. They have something that we no longer have as older people. Hope. It'll go away. You just have to let it naturally erode on its own.